and welcome to the Raw Review. We are the Dadley Boyz of What Culture. I'm Adam Wilborn, joined by Michael Hamflett and Michael Sidgwick, here to review everything that happened on last night's episode of Monday Night Raw. But before we get into it, if you're a fan of this sort of thing, make sure you subscribe to What Culture Wrestling on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, and YouTube, where we do daily wrestling podcasts where we not only review Raw, but also SmackDown, the show formerly known as NXT 2.0. We done my AW Collision pay-per-views, premium live events. We have interviews, roundtable discussions, and a round of the week complete. A quiz, of course, on Wrestle Culture. As I said, though, joined by Hamflett and Sidgwick to review last night's Raw. What did you make of the show?
Christmas Day again. Hasn't been Christmas Day since Friday. It's been a long old wait for another December 25th.
I don't know, Saturday night was felt pretty close to Christmas as well. NXT Deadline, we'll talk about that later on the NXT preview, by the way.
Indeed. This show, like, me and Sid reviewed SmackDown yesterday. And it was
lucky bastards.
Yeah, it wasn't a lot of...
I didn't mind it at all, to be honest.
Not a lot of action, but huge developments.
Oh, my God.
And I would sort of classify this Raw as the same, actually. Like, not a lot of massive takeaway action, but some absolutely enormous developments because... Like, that's all CM Punk is at the moment, and it's just amazing. Like, it just feels absolutely fantastic that there's all of these huge things that are happening right now in terms of Royal Rumble and lots of other stuff we discussed, and yet the possibilities still feel endless. Like, I refuse to leave the wave of optimism behind because ultimately this might happen. It's CM Punk. I'm not naive, but I don't know, I'm just overcome with joy. Every time there's another backstage segment where he's facing off with somebody else, it's like, yeah, I want that, I want that, I want that, I want that, I want that. You give me different versions of that.
Genuinely nice moments as well interspersed on this show.
The Kofi one was lovely. The Kofi one was as lovely as the Kevin Owens was. Terrifying.
Yes.
You know, like, and all of them have value. Every single, he was in that clubhouse. Like, CM Punk is visiting the clubhouse. I know, Sid, you understand my love of that sentence, let alone the scene playing out.
I know.
It was, like, the big stuff on here was enormous, massive, huge for 2024. The rest was Raw, winding down for the year.
Full disclosure, I've so much got into your thing now that I've written in today's show notes. R-Truth kicked out the Judgment Day?
Heartbreaking to see it happen.
What do you think, Sid?
In general, the CM Punk and WWE thing, like, it all depends on your threshold for Phillip Brooks, how much you can be arsed with him. I really waver on that. Sometimes he's electrifying. When he isn't, I'm like, it's not worth having everything centered around him. He's all over the show, you know, as he probably should be. I do enjoy as well how it's, I can get a bit conspiratorial with my takes. So with that caveat, okay, let's go. It just seems very notable to me that they are very much... Does it feel like a flex to anyone else, this Punk and WWE run, where it's like, oh, here's all the people that he hates, or who hate him.
Literally the first thing I thought with the Owens one, especially.
Interacting on screen.
We know how to do business here.
Yeah, we know how to do business here. Tony Khan. Tony Khan. Couldn't do that.
Yeah.
So that feels notable. And as well, wasn't the take that, you know, the irony about... It was Dave Meltzer, and I kind of believe them, equated Punk to WCW Bill Watts 1992 of... He doesn't realize how things have changed. He doesn't realize that you can't do the bury the promotion thing in 2022 when AEW was still proper babyface. Like, that doesn't, like, you don't realize that the dynamics have changed. Was that, am I reaching, bro? Or was the CM Punk Kofi Kingston thing a slight little nod and wink to the idea of, oh, CM Punk's out of touch and doesn't know what's going on?
It was a really nice detail, that was. Yeah, beyond just the gag and the weird reference that only a handful of people will get based on the reaction to the Jungle Boy remark, let alone some of the other stuff Punk said. Yeah, the idea that, like, when Punk left, so January 2014, like, the New Day didn't exist.
No.
Then. So, like, there are enough things where, like, there are connections to the past, but there are also so many differences.
Old man Brooks doesn't know what's going on.
It's smart to use good things to illustrate the changes because, in reality, the real changes are about, 18 months old? Like, let's not pretend that what went on 2014 through 2022 was that great, but find those little wins where you can and then have, like the WWE being a babyface thing. Like, I know we're going to jump ahead, but these Punk reviews tend to go that way. They handled that, I thought, to perfection in the way that, like, Seth Rollins so unashamedly stuck up for it. You could not have pulled that off in the Vince era. You could not have had a babyface go out there and talk like that and have any credibility. Matched up against anyone.
You had it with Roman. I mean, it's slightly different because it was that version of Roman, but you had Roman try against Brock.
Cena was booed for the better part of 20 years for having, if not for saying it out loud, for wearing it everywhere he went. You know, like I think there is a change that has taken place, and WWE will tell you it's in the way that Kofi Kingston plays a different character now, and the reality is because the old pervert resigned in disgrace. That's the change fundamentally.
Let's get into this show then, because it opened with Jey Uso versus Drew McIntyre. Jey comes out, welcomes us to Mania. He says he's got Yeet back, because I thought Raw was the place. Well, Yeets have no name. Classic, that one, from Wrestle Culture.
Right, I've already seen that. So this is your first time being exposed to
and
that.
last.
Well, Christmas party on Thursday. Just say.
We've been in trouble at that karaoke place before.
I hope the dude who trademarked that got himself paid.
Oh, yeah. Crowd are loving that, of course. He's excited about that. He's excited about CM Punk being in the building. Tonight, he says he's going to decide whether or not he wants to sign with Raw. He'd be a real one if he does, but we lost a real one last week. Tells Sami Zayn to get well. Drew did this, and as a result, he's about to get got. This brings out Drew, who says, that's enough arse kissing. Please, Postman Pierce, don't have Punk sign with Raw, basically. Let that SmackDown have him. We don't want Punk in our locker room. He'll destroy this place from the inside out. And the crowd obviously are not happy with this. And he's like, well, you don't personally know him. I know him. I know what he's actually like. And I know how this story ends. Turns his attention to Jey. And obviously what happened at the end of last week's show. He says, Seth got what he deserved. Maybe Sami didn't. Maybe I do have a little bit to do with him being stuck at home. He's got, I think, a torn meniscus. I think commentary said something along those lines. But Sami ran his mouth, crossed the line when he talked about my family. But I am sorry. And he says, CJ, that's called an apology. Something you seemingly are incapable of. And the crowd is still booing him. He's like, boo me like I'm wrong. Fine. He says, Cleveland, imagine if someone hurt a family member of yours, your parents. Would you want revenge? Imagine if they never apologized. Who, by a show of hands, would want to take revenge? And some people put their hands up, but they mainly just hate Drew, obviously. He says, the truth will set you free. Austin's in the crowd. And Drew mocks Jey's yeet and the hand movement. Says, do you think everything's just forgiven? Jey's like, you can't dance. And who wants to see Drew McIntyre catch a yeet down? And everyone yells yeet, and we get into the match.
I wasn't terribly excited about this match in previewing it based on the pretty weak one they'd had before Survivor Series. And this promo didn't do much for that, if I'm honest. This sort of feels a little bit played out between these two. But I did like Drew McIntyre ultimately being echoed later on in the show by ostensible top babyface Seth Rollins. It's really good ammo for this Drew McIntyre character to be setting his stall out now regarding CM Punk, because I don't know how long CM Punk will remain a babyface. I don't know how long the insincerity will be played for this character before they just switch him heel and then he does something entirely different. But Drew McIntyre taking some big dub when CM Punk does something awful, and he gets like one of the biggest "I told you so's," you know, of his run, and it's rooted in that "I told you so" attitude that he's got.
Yeah,
and then having to enact these ultimately heel moves rooted in what he believes is right. I think, why not fold that into the Punk stuff? So I really, really like that. But this, he has kind of taken every measure of revenge, and him and Jey's done now. Move on from this after this week, and we're going to by the looks of it.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'll give you my thoughts on this when you go through the match, because my thoughts about the two are linked.
Okay. Early on, Jey clobbers Drew to the chance of yeet. Drew gets knocked to the floor. We take a break. We come back. Jey's in trouble. Jey eventually gets knocked to the outside. Drew tries a claymore, but Jey moves, so Drew just lands on the announce table. So Jey enters the ring, hits the rope, suicide dive to Drew to take us to another break. During that break, I believe, McIntyre slingshotted Jey into the steel frame under the ring, which always looks like it absolutely sucks. Jey comes back, though, strikes, Samoan drop, gets a 2 count. But McIntyre dodges the running hip attack, hits a neck breaker, goes for another claymore, but Jey nails him with 2 super kicks, goes up top for the Uso splash, but McIntyre gets his knees up and hits a future shock DDT, but he can only get a 2 count this time off the back of that. Obviously, is the match. That was the thing that won in the match before Survivor Series. McIntyre takes off on the turnbuckle pads, goes for another Claymore, but Jey hits a spear out of nowhere for a near fall. The ref then realizes that turnbuckle's got no pad on it, so he turns his attention to that. And Drew McIntyre just buries his thumb in Jey Uso's eye. The ref doesn't see it, and Jey's blinded. McIntyre nails him with a Claymore and gets the 1-2-3 Sidge.
Right, it's a 2002 because I feel like I'm going to bury a show opening promo. The format of these shows is such content farm filler. Like intelligence insulting content form filler, and sometimes I accept it. I mean, it's been 20 odd years. I should be resigned to this, but my God. So you have this is the second match they've had on television for a start. That in itself is probably like an issue, especially when the first one wasn't very good. So I feel uninspired when I see them come out. They once again reiterate through exposition the reason why they are about to have their second fight in like a month. The first one wasn't that good, so I'm already like, this is a bit insipid. So they do this program, this promo, back and forth. I know all of the information. It feels so tired, as Hamflett rightfully points out. And then, right, okay, well, like, how much can it possibly mean to these characters? Drew particularly, about I want to get revenge for my life being ruined. I'm going to do some jokes, interact with the crowd, mention CM Punk because he's on the show later. Like, he's doing the role of a commentator. That you should be wanting to kill him urgently and viciously. So when they eventually do this promo, which is an advert for the rest of the show, so it instantly doesn't feel like this really heated feud. It's the bit where it does focus on their history together. And I know it already. I watched the program. They eventually start wrestling, break. It's so I go on my little Discovery app. Fast forward. Start watching the match. It's all right. And then another break. It's just like, honestly, it just eats up half an hour. The easiest content ever. Eats up half an hour. And then when they wrestle the match, it's a bit, I don't know. It's all right. It's fine. It's good. It's not great. And then the timing on that missed Claymore into the announce table, am I the only one who thought it looked stupid?
It didn't look that good.
It looked like he had this. What was he called again?
What was his name? Superhuman.
Superhuman or something.
Superhuman, yeah.
Yeah. This Claymore into the table, and Jey Uso's like standing like by the Titantron. It might as well be. You know what I mean? It looks crap. And I don't want to be. I'm not. I'm not usually. I don't know, quite pedantic, but I've got a bit of attitude towards the in-ring. That just looked too stupid, even for me. On the subject of too stupid, right? It's a bit, and I don't know if it's good heel work, because I just went, ugh, right, or if he's just trying to be really cool. There's a bit, did you see Smouldering Drew McIntyre?
Yeah.
There's a bit where it's Smouldering Drew McIntyre when he's standing in the middle of the ring, facing the hard camera. I think Jey Uso's like by the ropes at this point. Drew, if I had enough hair, I would do it. Trying to look like that. I'm like, ugh. Like, is he trying to, stand on some talent for after the show? Like, what are you doing that for? Is he trying to be like intense and serious, but you thought, that could be sexy?
He dialed up the wacky to get over as a babyface, didn't he? So he's now thinking, I'll have a bit more of that.
Yeah.
I'll take some of that, like, leaning on the ropes. That was a bit of that in his entrance as well. He was, like, trying to fold the patter back into this new character, and I don't think you necessarily you don't need all of it, Drew. That's absolutely fine. I don't mind. So Jey Uso is going to be out.
Yes.
After this, Sami Zayn is going to be out. There's probably another babyface Drew can shelve. This is possibly in service of a Royal Rumble spot where the three baby faces are drawn near each other, and Drew's like, oh no, you guys, and then they all throw him out, and he claims injustice about how he would have won the Royal Rumble had it not been for everybody needed to gang up on him. And then, because we were saying yesterday, as good as this character is, what's the WrestleMania match? Like, he feels like he could.
His contract runs out before then, doesn't it?
Oh, I don't know, and that might be part of it. Yeah, like there's always that odd person out, and it's always really sad as well when somebody, for whatever reason, just falls through the cracks around WrestleMania season.
There's never, to be fair, there's never that many over people.
True. Yeah.
Who you can't get on the card.
Yeah, that's true. I'm thinking of like, LA Knight last year and Bailey at 37, and it's like,
Yeah.
oh God, how's this happened?
Ziggler for like 40 years.
Yeah. But like, but yeah, that at least will presumably set up something where the injustice of how he's eliminated by all these returning people coming back from injury.
My family going to finally see me win the big one. The Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Trophy on SmackDown before
God.
Yeah. We get a recap of
He's loving being Scottish today, isn't he?
I love it. Oh my God.
That's good banter, that.
Hey, what do you think? Fine match, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Speaking of banter,
Go on.
do you know we've got a new nickname for Randy Orton?
No.
RPO.
Why?
Randy Patter Orton. Because he's just,
He's the best, and
I love him.
What's going on?
Doing things to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we got, speaking of SmackDown,
It's
actually.
like an olive.
If you could build an olive from the ground up.
It looked like Randy Orton. You know when you go through life and you're like, olives. Not sure about them.
I'm still there, brother.
I've
I've
tried.
tried. I can't make
Because
it work.
you're an absolute philistine.
I'll make it
But
work.
to grown-ups, you
Yes.
know when you have olives and you're like, don't like these. And then like you go to, you have some fancy restaurants and they've got the olives. And you go, And then you realise, olives are goated.
Yeah.
Olives are patter. Randy Orton.
Olives are batter. They had olives in the past.
Yeah. No, they didn't.
They didn't.
But now they do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like the most like one of the oldest foods.
They've got olives in the present.
Anyway, Randy Orton's an olive and
Yes.
his RPO.
I like that. They did a recap of Punk's promo on SmackDown,
Randy Patter olive.
Yeah.
including the line about not being able to trust someone who randomly punches people backstage.
Yeah.
And then we got a great video
The
promo.
editing on that video. Yeah.
A great video from Shinsuke Nakamura talking about watching Cody Rhodes, talk about finishing his story for weeks and weeks. He's no closer to doing it. He's a dog chasing a car. As great as he is, it's not enough. His lack of respect is going to be his weakness. He strived the admiration of others. Nakamura's managed to free himself of that burden long ago. He's going to paint his own story, bring Rhodes' story to an end. He's the real nightmare. Always remember, you asked for this. I like this again.
Nakamura was up late with Kyle O'Reilly last night because this was brilliant. And unfortunately, it foreshadowed that. I mean, we knew this anyway, but it kind of foreshadowed for me that we weren't getting a finish. It wasn't just that Cody was going to win and Nakamura was going to get
the fact that it was a WWE TV match means it was not going to get a finish.
Well, because I was thinking of the Seth one. Seth beat him clean. And then they looked at the rematch and thought, we're going to do it anyway.
Yeah.
They do that.
Yeah, well,
they do be
I
doing
thought
that.
Cody was going to beat him, and then somehow Nakamura was just going to get his rematch somehow. But this was so good, this video package, way better than the match, that I just thought, yeah, we're not getting a finish tonight.
If only Cody could have his own, I don't know, red, white, and blue mist. Just an idea. Someone came up with, I've heard.
I want to see it.
Pretty clever came up with.
3 spooters, totally possible.
One nostril.
Yep.
Red, white, and blue.
But surely the trajectory.
Huh?
See, your nostrils.
Just in the mouth.
It would just
Yeah.
go to pink.
Base layer.
That's so
America.
Base layer.
Sure.
Dismiss them. Right, stay there. They're not going to sell it. Right, wait there.
Hold them still. That's the way I've got to do the stars.
And God bless the United States.
Oh, God, I put one in my ear by mistake.
Right, we're in the back. Who's there? You've got Finn Balor. You've got Damian Priest, JD McDonough, Rhea Ripley, Dirty Dom, and of course, collectively,
They're in the fucking Judgment Day.
They're sort of catching up on what happened last week. Basically, Finn says,
I love that they do not have a WhatsApp.
Nah. There's no signal.
save it for the clubhouse.
No signal in the clubhouse.
And Finn says that me and Rhea aren't there for 1 week and everything's fallen apart, basically. Dom and JD got their heads kicked in by the Creed brothers. Dom lost his North American title. We'll talk again about that on the NXT preview later. Damian Priest said, it sucked that Dom lost his title. It also sucks not showing up. Rhea Ripley. And he says, don't worry, me and Finn are going to take care of the Creeds. And Ripley says, I hear you calling yourself a leader, but that's a lot easier than actually being a leader. And she yells in his face. She says she's tired of the disrespect. And she's going to make an example out of Maxine.
And she sure did.
Oh, boy. So does that confirm Damian Priest is the leader forever then? Is that...
Yeah. And it was so weird to switch from the dark, dingy clubhouse to well, hey, all the bright colours of the Alpha Academy.
So you could say they were...
I don't know. There's too many gimmicks. So you have to narrow this one down, brother.
Switching gears.
Oh, switching gears. Yes, sorry. There's too many. I'm like buttons, voices.
Mr. Buttons. Dr. Buttons.
So yeah, Alpha Academy there.
What's your PhD in?
And God bless.
No,
That's why you're not Dr. Buttons.
what's your PhD in?
Dinosaur maker.
Correct.
Creed's there as well, hyping up Maxine Dupree for a match. Ivy says, I'll be at ringside just in case. And then R-Truth shows up with Christmas decorations to decorate the clubhouse. Actually, with decorations, I should say, to decorate the clubhouse. And Chad's like, be careful with the Judgment Day, because you're not actually in the group. And R-Truth's like, what are you talking about? I am in the group.
Why are you laughing?
I'm just misunderstood. And then he wished them a happy Thanksgiving. Not Thanksgiving, Tuesday, Christmas.
It's the worst. It's the absolute worst.
I'm as sad as you that it all got paid off this week. I thought I had a few more weeks in it myself, but
Could have had Christmas dinner. I could have all that.
it?
New
Yeah.
Year's party.
a lot of festivities to get through.
It's just like there is a way to write dumb people. Like classic Simpsons, right? The best thing about it is like, who's thicker? Is it Homer or is it Wiggum? Like they're both like one of the best gags in The Simpsons, right, ever is when they're spoofing The Shining. It's The Shinning, and Marge frantically is like sort of calling for help on the thing. He goes, my husband's on a murderous rampage. Over. Now Wiggum goes, oh God, thank God that's it. It's just, you can write them so well. He thinks it's Halloween or whatever. It's absolutely appalling.
I don't remember when he got the ladder out in the Royal Rumble and reached for the briefcase and it wasn't there. That was pretty good.
Like, you shouldn't be allowed to wrestle then.
Speaking of classic Simpsons, have you seen that viral?
Like, you could have had a
clip of-
really bad head injury.
You seen Modern Simpsons going around?
No.
I sort of recommend you watch it. It's like, it's been shared a lot.
Yeah, it's just Julie Kavanagh's just old.
Julie Kavanagh's getting on, and like she just sounds a bit tired as Marge, basically, and it's not her fault. But you're watching this unfunny Simpsons clip, and none of the voices sound quite right. Like I watched it and just assumed, somebody's made some AI. There's been a lot of Homer Simpson AI. It's just really sad. It's just really
Old tired, sick of working with cartoons.
Yeah.
Right, let's talk about this Rhea Ripley Maxine Dupree match. Went 2 minutes and 5 seconds.
It was staggeringly bad. It should be impossible for it to be this bad. I mean, she's worked, they said 6 pro matches before this.
That's a shoot as well.
The premise was
I didn't miss that All Japan Women's run.
Maxine ducks a few right hands, slaps Rhea, who fires up, goes to hit her with Riptide. Maxine ranas her. That pisses her off even more.
I don't think you're telling the story.
No, that's what I'm saying. This is what was meant to have happened.
Okay.
Big boot, Riptide, Prism Trap. That's the move list that sort of happened. It was just incredibly sloppy.
So awkward.
And I don't think Maxine was deliberately sandbagging her. It's just like you say, inexperienced.
Yeah, she doesn't know what she's doing, so she probably shouldn't be on TV.
Yeah, that's the thing about the 6 matches. That's not like, to say, I mean, despite the fact she has got the Ocean Cyclone suplex in her locker, there isn't a Japan run kicking around the background. There's no house show matches. There's no Largo Loop. That's the thing. It's like everything she's done, we've seen. That's not on. Like, that shouldn't be.
Yeah, so not great, but post-match, Ripley won't let go of the submission, so Ivy Nile hits the ring and they have a little stare down and Ripley shows off the belt.
I don't really get many of these anymore.
Yeah.
I'm in this sort of the post-Suzuki era. I love writing post and saying post. This is the post-Suzuki or the Suzuki era of, you go to the performance center, you become a hybrid worker, you can fly, you can strike, you can throw, you can do whatever. Do it all. Everyone does it all. It's great. You don't really you can only get bland and solid as your base level now. 99% of the time, the 1% of the time you get something like this. And I just, you know what? I subscribe very much to the idea that you can go pretty dark, pretty, what do the kids say? Savage. That's what the kids say. When you're punching up, you can't punch down a Maxine Dupree. So, I'm not going to.
Yeah, it was a bit of a...
I mean, Triple H should be tried for war crimes for putting her in that ring. It's his fault. Everything's his fault. I'd love to know what wrestling would look like without Triple H. What if he just decided to do something else?
Can't imagine. Oh,
It'd be absolutely goated.
Oh, absolutely not. Worst scenario ever.
You know what I'm going to do?
Oh, then unless you're...
You know what I'm going to do? You know what I'm going to do?
Go on.
I'm going to strap you to a chair.
Okay.
I'm going to, sellotape your eyelids open. Okay? And then on 1.0 speed, normal, yeah?
Don't do it.
I'm going to make you watch Triple H versus Shawn Michaels from Bad Blood 2004. And then you tell me with a straight face, without doing one of your gimmicks, that wrestling will be better off with Triple H in it than without.
Sit there, Dr. Buttons.
I mean, he is cooking, so. SmackDown's goated. Raw's goated. NXT, super goated. So it's like the bit where Homer goes and they're like, "Don't like donuts, do you? I want to feed you all the donuts you want." And he's like, loves it.
You know that thing about like how if you appreciate the situation in the present, everything had to happen the way it did for us to get where we got. I'm currently at the point where I have lived through the Ruthless Aggression Triple H title reign of terror and lived to tell the tale. And the tale I'm telling right now is WWE Raw was goated again. So I'm sort of thinking, well, if I had to change that, it's a butterfly effect, isn't it? If I had to change something from 2003, we might not get where we're at now.
Good point.
So, like,
If I could go
then
back,
again, there's WrestleMania 19, which is the worst thing that ever happened in wrestling.
if I could go
So I
back,
really don't know. He really
and,
pushes
like,
that.
Just in terms of the way you can change history on a trivial level.
Yeah.
Obviously, I would do more things than ruin Triple H. It'll change the trajectory of Triple H's life. If I could only change wrestling, right, I would. If I've got magical powers, which I do because I can go back in time, right, I would also invent like this, like an ability drug. You can just inject Triple H, right?
Yeah, plenty of that.
Shut up, man.
Thank
Acting. Right, okay, go to Hollywood.
What was his dog line?
Hey, dick face. If you see my dog. So I would inject him with some acting ability and just to see what it would look like.
Yeah.
The whole thing changes.
And we wouldn't get this. Like, what would we be doing then?
What was the bus criminal film as well?
Chaperone? Oh, no.
Chaperone, it was a
Yeah.
Chaperone, where he's on the cover.
I'm trying to remember. I was trying to remember.
Look at the situation I got myself into. Do you get it? I'm hard as nails. I got a little daughter.
I'm a convict, but that's a school bus. How are we going to make it work?
Didn't he work with Thingy though on that? Isn't Thingy also in the Chaperone?
Chaperone. If anything, I need to chaperone. I'm not qualified for this job.
What was it? Who was WWF sucked? He didn't suck no more. That was,
Oh, him, yeah.
Rappaport.
Yeah.
Pataport.
I also remember. Was it Knucklehead, the Big Show one?
Yeah.
No, I'll tell you what's funny. Well, Big Show's so big, he just walks to a fan. Brilliant. Brilliant.
Big dumb bastard, the movie.
Cut. Brilliant. Brilliant.
Speaking of having fun, there's a Caden Carter and Katana Chance video package, and they bloody love to have fun, those
Don't have
two.
too much fun. Stop partying, yeah? Knuckle down. You might win some wrestling matches. Like, what do you do with your life? How is this good? They've been trying this for about 3 years.
This feels the
when
right
you
time.
weren't, I should say, allowed to have fun.
Yeah.
During some of it.
Yeah.
Like, they are, we're just party, we're free spirits. We like to live life and, like, you know, free spirits and party and, you know, catch it at the fun fair, we're dancing. It's like, why don't you knuckle down, yeah? Learn your craft. Don't, with all due respect, have the same match every time you're in the ring for 4 years. And just get better at this. You got your priorities wrong.
Come on.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
how are you meant to like go, oh God, I love them. Goofing off. You know what I mean? Like, how am I meant to like these ostensible baby faces? Just partying all the time. I'm taking it seriously. I got irrationally wound up watching this.
If
Like, the losers, they lose matches all the time. But hey, no big deal. No sweat. We'll just go and party down.
Speaking of partying down,
Deserve to lose.
if people have only watched Raw, never NXT, and say, for example, only listen to our coverage, because we know you do that at very least, this week feels like the week to remind people to go and locate one of the last times we saw them partying at a big event
Oh, yeah.
where Brooks and Jensen went with
Rolling
them.
Loud, or have I just made that
It was
up?
a festival or something like that, and Brooks and Jensen went with them. And then at some point, the camera is pointed at Brooks and Jensen, who are looking at Katana Chance and Caden Carter, and then their
Briggs
eyes...
and Jensen, by the way.
Briggs and Jensen,
Brooks
sorry.
and Jensen's the same person.
Briggs and Jensen. And then they're sort of looking downwards, and we don't know what they're looking at, and they're such bad actors, we don't know if they're kind of wanting to jack it, or they're confused, or they're excited, or what. And it's left ambiguous forever. It never...
I know what's going on.
What the hell's going on down there?
Just knuckle.
Maybe it was wrestling training and they're fitting it in with their partying, and that's how they've won this match here.
They need to knuckle
Don't go
down.
for the match yet. That was just them just showing off that they bloody love to have fun.
That's it.
Well, they'll lose again next month. I know this dance goes. That's a dance for you.
I think Chelsea Green and Piper Niven might be in trouble.
Don't be stupid, Sid. I'm fairly certain the match is next week. So yeah, it's next week they'll lose. Anyway, before we go to break, Postman Pearce heads into Punk's locker room, and then here comes, where am I? Here comes CM Punk after Adam Pearce introduces him, saying how he's known him for 25 years. He knows he's going to make the right decision. Huge pap for CM Punk, of course. He says he was in a bit of a sullen mood, and I thought,
already?
yeah. But he saw all the signs. He's heard the fans. He's been thinking about this all week. He's been consumed. He's worried about it because he loves the fans. But this town and this building particularly haven't been historically kind to him. He debuted here. He had Mickey James on his arm. And they went, that was really good. Go to OVW now. And he embraced being uncomfortable. He learned how to love it. And he returned to Cleveland as World Heavyweight Champion. And then Randy Orton kicked him in the head backstage. And by the time he woke up, he'd been told that he'd been stripped of the world title.
I was disgusted by that at the time.
Yeah, me too.
I loved the Punk at the time.
I loved him as much as I do now. I was raging. I was as raging watching Unforgiven 2008.
8 years old.
Like, as raging watching that in 2008 as I was here, having not realised that this was the same building, not brought up in yesterday's preview. I have to punish myself for press up something. I was like, you should have known that. I was like, this is what you do.
This is what you do. It's what you're good for.
This is what you live for. Second Mike Adamley reference, of course, on the show because he invented the scramble match. Hell of a legacy from that GM. How's it going, Dave? Miss that guy.
10 years ago, he says, I had to take myself off this hamster wheel and make the hardest decision of my life. Always wondered about the people in the building that night, whether they were disappointed when he left. And he spoke with Indy backstage. She felt betrayed as a kid, and he talked about feeling the same when he saw Rowdy Roddy Piper on WCW. He said if anyone watching or in attendance was disappointed when he walked out, he understood and he apologized. He talked about the offers that had been made.
Accepted. Unnecessary, but accepted. 10 years he's been off our screens.
I was quite grateful, actually, because I went to WrestleMania 30 in New Orleans.
Yep.
And I avoided watching Daniel Bryan versus Sheamus.
That's true. Daniel Bryan can thank CM Punk for all of his success. How did he repay him in the tribunal? I don't mean it. Them two are kind of great, actually. Yeah. I kind of like that deal. You know what? I've got a D Punk. Yeah, Brian. See you later.
I don't care. I want to go to the feds.
Yeah, like this. We can work this out for both of us.
Andrew's like, you got any more of those?
The bus is just pulling away in mirrors, chasing after it.
What's that famous Hogan Jericho story? In 1999, Jericho's talking to Hogan. He goes, "Oh man, I'm going to the Fed." And Hogan goes, "Oh, can you take us with you?"
Punk says that he'd been given a substantial offer from.
He just kills WCW, much like CM Punk killed AEW. He's just like, "Can I come?" And I've got a mess to sort out here, Terry.
Bought it.
Come on, Terry.
Jericho tells that story.
It's kind of your fault.
Was it a family member or his wife or something was buying his action figure and the receipt said Hulk Hogan? So it probably meant that Hogan was getting his merchandise checked.
Yeah.
Bored of this.
He said he'd been given a substantial offer to go to SmackDown by whoever the SmackDown GM is. Forget his name. He said Shawn Michaels made him an offer to help mold the next generation of superstars. And the 15-year-old CM Punk would have loved that. I was there going, come on, NXT. Come on.
What a twist that would have been. And I took it. Thanks, Adam.
See you later, Cleveland.
But Postman Pearce has made an offer that's above both of those shows. But he'd already made up his mind when he saw Cleveland on the calendar. He's here to bury the ghosts, right a few wrongs. His future starts now. You couldn't write a better TV show. I mean, 1 second.
And I mean, folks, where's the lie?
10 years almost to the day, CM Punk walked out. No matter how you feel, he walks right back in. If you're happy about it, mad about it, you better learn to love it because CM Punk is the newest Raw superstar and CM Punk is home. Crowd chants for CM Punk. Then who should interrupt but one Seth Rollins? Look directly at it. Rollins and Punk go face to face, and you can just feel the moment.
Cox the sun.
You need special glasses to look directly at them.
That's just the pubes.
They let the moment sink in between Punk and Rollins, and Rollins says, "CM Punk, welcome to Monday Night Rollins."
I am 38 years of age. I have 2 children and I own a house.
It's one of the best segments of the friggin' year. It's peeps.
Yeah. He says he hopes Punk knows how fortunate he is to be standing in the ring right now. Why don't you just do me one little favor and don't dare call this place home? You abandoned this place 10 years ago. You actively tried to tear it down. You spent 10 years slandering me, the locker room, and now you want to walk back in and call this place home. This isn't your home. This is my home. I've been here. My brothers and sisters in the back, everyone watching, that's my family. This is our home, and I will do everything to protect it from people like you. I want to be perfectly clear here. I want you to all understand. I will say it plainly with every fiber of my being. I hate you. But if you are going to be part of WWE again, I want you on Raw because the truth always comes out. We all know this is your last chance. So one or two things is going to happen. Either you're going to expose yourself and self-destruct like you always do, and I'll be the first person to slam the door shut on your legacy. Or if by some miracle you've changed, if you've got any gas left in that old tank, maybe one day you'll be lucky enough to stand across the ring from me in a title match, and I will expose you for the fraud that you are. I'll show you that there are levels to this. I will wrestle circles around you, and I'll let you understand in real time what it means to be the best in the world. And Punk pauses and looks at him and says, "You done? That is your one pass for you to speak to me disrespectfully without me coming after you. I never asked for anything to be handed to me. I've always done things the hard way. And if we're making things official, let's make it official. I'm entering the Royal Rumble. And when I win, maybe Seth, I'm coming after you."
Can I go first? Because he's going to be the high guy. And it's probably better for the mood of the podcast and all the rest of it. Mm-hmm. The bad news, good news. That's the way around it should go. One thing I do enjoy, inadvertently, is CM Punk basically outing himself as a narcissist every now and then. He used to do it in AEW as well, right? Where he would come out in something, either in storylines maybe, or like when he was trying to get into character, and he did it again tonight when he was in some kind of mood or other. Oh my God, not another one. Yeah. I think he did it when like he was coming out and he was ready to cut like some kind of intense go-home promo or whatever, maybe against Moxley. He's done it a couple of times. Where you go, all I'm saying is I try to put my game face on and I get the validation I seek from everyone and I'm just in a great mood now. That's like narcissism. Yeah. And he's done it here. I was in a bad mood, but the validation. Thank you for that validation. It's great. My soul...
My life forces.
What passes for it needs that sort of thing. So I enjoy that, but my little psychiatrist, I've never studied it. Never studied psychiatry, but my notion of it, completely absorbed and informed by television, which is probably inaccurate, leads me to believe that there's a bit of narcissism that seeps out of CM Punk.
I think there's more than a bit, brother.
Yeah, every now and then. I thought CM Punk's part in this was really, really good. He's just like, he's such a granular details. I can believe everything you're saying because you think about it that deeply. All the Cleveland stuff was tremendous. He feels like an interloper into almost every world he steps into because every world he steps into in wrestling's fictional and he just does feel real even when he feels fake. He's just got that weird charisma around him, if you like. I didn't think the verbal showdown was one of the best things you'll ever see in wrestling this year. I just didn't necessarily feel it, and I can't articulate it more than I just didn't feel it. I don't necessarily want to do this, but I kind of have to illustrate a point, okay? I don't want to do the AEW better, because if you've listened to me on these podcasts in 2023, I'm not trying to do the bad faith, grifter, toxic engagement, AEW better automatically. But to draw a comparison, right? This wasn't the Eddie Kingston versus CM Punk verbal spat. Even though it feels like, and it's to me, maybe it's getting a little bit boring, right? Every single CM Punk feud is basically based on, you're a dick in real life, and one day it'll come out. And then it does. But that's the CM Punk program now. It's kind of the only story you can tell.
For now.
For now, I guess.
The longer he sticks around, yeah.
We'll see. Someone, I can't remember who it was, someone had a really a good tweet. Like, can CM Punk ever be a character again? Like, remember when he was just like the Straight Edge Society? Like, he can't ever do that again, can he?
Yeah.
Be a character.
Wrestling, yeah, like the content churn catches everybody, and like the real test is not now. It's when he is a character, and when it's like I care about the fact that
I'll embrace it at this point.
I was going to say the Miz, but that's a bad example because that will probably fall in some real life dispute. But there's going to come a point where he's got to maybe elevate a mid-carder with very WWE style content, and I'm as excited for that because it's like, can you do it? It's the Brian as a sports entertainer thing where it's like you're a genre worker now, make this work, and I think he can.
I embrace it. Obviously, it's not the one you can tell now. Why would you ever do that? You want to capitalize on the real life intrigue that I was kind of bored of in September 2022, if I'm being perfectly honest. But that's the story they have to tell with Punk, and it's the only one they will tell for the foreseeable, right? This just wasn't as good as CM Punk, Eddie Kingston. It just wasn't. And I think the reason why is, look, I think my personal feelings on Seth Rollins, and I'm the outlier from the WWE fans, because they love him, they sing a song, and Seth Rollins to them is a big star. I don't think he's ever moved the needle necessarily on his own terms. The thing with Seth Rollins is he's a company guy through and through. He is a willing mascot for this company. And you can see why they adore him, because the whole point of being a company guy is that you advocate for the company, you campaign for the company during the good times and the bad. This man, in 2019, 2 out of 3 falls, wild card, Shelton Benjamin doing this. Shorty G, just willingly going, oh, cool, I get a buy in a tournament. You're a babyface. Dog food. Roman Reigns entertaining the idea that maybe the doppelganger of Eric Rowan just happened to be backstage. You know what I mean? In 2019, Seth was like, this is the best.
He was quoting an advert for Stomping Grounds, the pay-per-view that needed a big curtain in a three-sided building. And it was that. He was like, best person of the period, tune in for this.
Tune in. His finish was the stomp, and he wasn't even on the poster.
That's correct.
It was Roman doing the fist.
That's right.
So you can see why WWE fans love him, why the company loves him. He's very much sticks his neck out. I will be the company guy, good times and bad. Now he's in the good times, and these fans love him for that, right? The problem with Seth Rollins being such a through and through company guy is that I didn't believe for a minute that this kind of work shoot program could ever just go full. The whole point of a work shoot is that you're meant to think that 1% of doubt of, ooh, this could go awry, in a really thrilling pull apart brawly way. And I guess, right, they knew they couldn't do anything because they're building this for WrestleMania, so they can't touch for ages. So I will realize what they're trying to do and assess it fairly on those terms. And it couldn't have that Kingston Punk energy, I guess, because this couldn't fall apart. But shouldn't it have felt a little bit like it could have? Or were they trying to be dignified about it a little bit? I swallow my chewing gum. All I'm saying is that this just didn't have that. Oh, here we go. This could go awry. These are two people who hate each other in one ring. It just didn't have that Eddie Punk, Brett Shawn energy to me personally. And I think a lot of that has to do with Seth Rollins is just going to behave. You know what I mean? His job, his passion, his self-anointed role in all of this is to behave and play nice and work within the system and be a pro and be a company man and best wrestling in the world, period. He just doesn't have that in him. And he's built this offline, online, and his character and all the rest of it. I just didn't believe this is ever going to fall apart in the most thrilling of ways. And if that wasn't the point, because they're never going to touch, they're not going to touch for ages, I don't think, right? I did enjoy the stare down. They kind of told a subtle story with their faces here, where I was like, you can kind of feel I kind of believe I have to do this, but I'm kind of looking forward to proving myself. There was a bit of that, that pissing contest, if you like. But I just thought Seth's promo, when this is the thing you can most sink your teeth into, I thought the content of it was just so Seth Rollins. There was not one really wicked put down. There was nothing he wasn't even doing the obnoxious laugh in his face. That could have really riled him up. Maybe that'll follow. But I just thought I could have written that promo realistically, and I always gravitate towards wrestling where it's I never thought you'd do that in a million years, and it's the perfect idea. I thought, honestly, it was a bit generic.
Feeling is very important to like kind of headline our takes on this, isn't it? Because I was running around the living room screaming in the air going, here we go. Like to Sidgwick's point, you know, like here we are.
Sorry, one more thing before you get really started. This isn't me doing, fed bad.
No.
That's synthetic fed. Because if you listen to the SmackDown review podcast, which of course you can get wherever you get your podcasts from, I saw Kevin Owens and CM Punk's felt it. I wish it was that. I wish it was that because you saw it? Can you tell me where the locker room is? No. So, you hate each other and you're not saying it, but I can feel it. This was a bit, I don't know, I just thought that the copy was generic for me.
I thought that, like, content and delivery, I wouldn't have changed a single thing about this. And again, I'm sort of reflecting from my own feelings of watching it. When Punk came back and the Survivor Series shot of Seth from people's phones was super effective, my concern came from Seth Rollins' house show promo the next night, before Punk had done his Raw one, where he's like, this is our house, this is WWE. I was like, how are you going to square this? Because regardless of what Punk says or does, initially he's going to be received as a babyface. And I think they deserve more credit than, ultimately people are going to analyse what's getting said here and what they're building, as they should. But I think like whoever's in charge of this creatively, the wrestlers and whoever, deserve quite a lot of credit for managing the fact that Seth Rollins at this point is a WWE flag-waving babyface when that thing can be true. Because it couldn't be in 2019 when he said it. It couldn't have been when John Cena and Roman Reigns did it. And now this is like new ground for them to have to walk on, as it is for CM Punk to say these things, even if I'm home became this line that existed for Seth Rollins to pull it apart, right? We said after that Raw one that got mixed at best reviews, probably the wrong night to kick your story off. Let CM Punk come back and people like breathe this in and look at it and feel it and whatever, and then start telling the story. And you could have done that on the SmackDown one, and they did it anyway, I guess. But like the I'm home stuff, this vibe around Punk, whether people think it's insincere or not, existed for the purpose of Seth Rollins tearing it apart. They have, for me, they've done the hardest bit here by not really having to immediately heal anybody. Like there was mixed chance for both. I got the reminder, they shot this really well. They were picking the right moment to look at Punk's face and look at Seth Rollins' face. And it reminded me of Hogan and Rocket in Chicago when the chants were mixed. Some people were singing, some people chanting Seth Rollins. Sorry, some people chanting CM Punk. And remember how like Hogan and Rock were sort of looking each way to register the fans. Punk and Seth weren't doing that because they were so intent at looking at each other that the camera did it for you. It was like, they're singing Seth's song. How does Punk feel about that? And then the CM Punk chant happened and Punk gets a little smirk and then Seth has to stop and take that in. And it's like, Cedric said it, we are dealing with sort of like a brand new thing for both of us here. Neither of us necessarily wanted this. As characters and in reality, neither of us want this. But we're here and we care enough about our craft to make this work. I disagree slightly about Seth not having like a killer line, because the bit where he almost like stopped himself from WWE speak and said, let me make this clear, I hate you. That felt, I don't believe it was improvised.
It was always the banned list, wasn't it? Hate.
Yeah, I don't believe it was improvised, like, because I watched this Punk run. I'm such a, like, you've heard about what I eat. I'm boring at my core, right? I want CM Punk. You know how long I want this run to last? When's it going to blow up? I want this run to last 3 years because that's the duration of his contract. And then let's talk about how long the next run's going to last. The whole time, and loads of podcasts have said this, I believe this will go well because I believe CM Punk will want it to go well. Business will be done. So in the back of my mind, as somebody too old to think of this as 100% real, of course I'm thinking, well, you know, they've agreed roughly backstage. We've said it a few times in different pods. The Hangman Page story, but done right. So that's why you lean on basically copying the homework. Like WWE, when it got hot again in the 90s, copied ECW's homework. It booked its stars better than WCW was able to book its old stars. This is not like new for WWE to just polish something up and be like, right, we're going to have that, but we're going to WWEize it. We're going to make it for the broadest possible audience, and we're going to make it so that like everybody just does business. Like I saw an engagement account doing a bit of a gotcha on, seen it already, and then that engagement account was slaughtered with the line, and I don't necessarily agree with all of this, but the context. So AEW's Finger Poke of Doom just booked WrestleMania 40's Night 1 main event. Like they're not all wrong there. Like use that and use what people feel to make it make sense within the context of your universe. Seth Rollins isn't a pipe bam guy. It would be inauthentic of Seth Rollins to suddenly have 10 zingers. That's a CM Punk job, is to have the zingers, and he let him have the floor tonight. CM Punk at some point is going to destroy Seth Rollins, but then Seth Rollins has to believe in himself and believe in everything he says, just as he did in 2019, just as he did in 2015, 2016. He's got to believe his own bullshit, to be honest, and he does, and he absolutely does. I'm a situational Seth Rollins fan. I like Seth Rollins, kind of based on who he's feuding with. Happy memories of teaming with Kevin Owens, of feuding with Cody Rhodes, of feuding with Logan Paul, of the Shield in general.
He's a better marketer than pro wrestler for me, Seth Rollins.
I think that's fair, yeah. He's WWE like the term performer. Seth Rollins is a performer with the right material, with the right feud, and understanding who he actually is. It's why the Seth freaking Rollins character got over so much, because he wanted to be Roman Reigns, but it's no, you've got to find... Elton John's wardrobe, basically, and make that work instead. That's more authentic than anything you were ever trying to be as Roman Reigns, the top guy. So it would have been inauthentic to me for Seth Rollins to suddenly be memorizing those great zingers and putting Punk in the dirt. He called him old. He was pretty brutal on him, and I felt Punk wanting to swing for him and not, because tonight isn't the night. And again, that's a nice blurring of reality and fiction. Tonight isn't the night. It's not this. And again, I think they captured the tension of what this Punk run is. I welcome the days when we're not having the conversation of, when's he going to blow up in somebody's face? One good year followed by, I quite like this. He does a 24 special or whatever that thing Cody did, where it's this has blown away my expectations. I'm not deaf to all of that. I kind of thought I might blow up at somebody too. It's been pretty good. I don't mind the era when CM Punk becomes normal and fancies entering a US title tournament. I genuinely don't mind. But this, to me, captured everything that is magic about Punk right now, and he's in the frigging Rumble.
There's two names.
What is there not to love about CM Punk in the Royal Rumble? We talked about Sage Pitch 1 and 2, Cody and Punk. I was talking about the WrestleMania sign as the sort of WWE as a company is in an opposite state, that when it put John Cena and Randy Orton there and told you to care, it's no, hottest guys, here it is, that sort of stuff. I'm getting goosebumps thinking about it. I could not be more excited, and they've sold you the match without even having to tease a destination. Of course it's WrestleMania, because Punk said I want to main event WrestleMania, and now I want to win the Rumble. And by the way, sorry, scattered everywhere, loved it. Yet again, you now have believable reasons why a Rumble winner would pick Seth Rollins and that toy belt over Roman Reigns and the belt. Cody and Punk want the same thing, but they want very different things. Yes. That's a fantastic position they've put themselves in.
It's annoying how well they've done with this belt quietly, despite how many 3.5-star matches have been contested for it.
I love this.
They'll get you in the end.
Contested made me laugh. Seth's bested a lot of people.
He's down some people.
I love this because it was one of those things, and you knew what we were getting. We talked about it, it's been reported on. The first thing they're going to do with Punk is Seth Rollins. You knew what we were getting. And the moment they're in the ring together, I was like, I can't believe we're getting this. This is insane. So just really excited to see where this goes. And like you say, the fact that they've linked them together, and they've got 4 months just under 4 months to get to WrestleMania. And it's not right, we've got to do promos now for the next 4 months. They can go off and, is Punk's first match the Rumble? Is he going to have some warm matches, whatever? Seth's got his own. He's got to hold that title until WrestleMania.
I really hope Punk's return is the Rumble. I don't want to see him warming up on Raw. You know what I mean? It's not as big a moment as the return itself, but it's still a moment. Yeah. Capital M. It's if it would be like when he came back to AEW and it was I'll test myself on Rampage before Derby at the pay-per-view. It's keep it all big, make that matter.
We followed up with the big lads, Bronson, Reed, and Ivar. They just get straight into it. There's promos setting this up earlier on. It's just all bombs, basically. Ivar gets sent into the corner. Elbows his way out of trouble. They both get knocked down. They both go out to the floor. There's a double crossbody out there. That takes us to a break. When we come back, Ivar hits a huge spine buster to get a 2 count. Misses a charge in the corner. Ivar knocks Bronson Reed to the floor for a huge cannonball. Reed's just out on the floor. Finally get back in. Ivar's setting up for his big moonsault. There was a tsunami teased earlier on, I should say, as well. But Reed gets him with a superplex for the 1-2-3 and to get the victory.
Nice, although if I'm honest, I feel like this whole rivalry is flattered to deceive. Maybe they we take the piss, but they really should have put him on a boat. They really should have
one more. Put it on a boat.
Yeah, they should have gone a little bit dafter. It's really spectacular watching what these two do to each other. But I think you can judge this based on the noise in the building. You were just not hearing people squealing with delight in the stands for it, and that was the ceiling for all of this.
Yeah, I was expecting to just bleed. I was expecting to just feel like a giddy thrill at that. These impossible people doing impossible things to each other. And it was just like, there's just no investment in the characters, really. So when they weren't doing that, it was just mausoleum silence. Then they did a bomb. I was like, oh, that was quite good. Then nothing. And then something. And then nothing. It was like I was always drifting away from it, if that makes any sense.
Huge difference. That's a great point. Huge difference between how the fans reacted to what I thought was a worse in-ring opener. Drew and Jey are over. People care.
Yeah.
And the match wasn't half as exciting, but these characters, there's a bit of a women's division booking about this. It's like, oh yeah, they know what these two do. Just go out there and do it. The story kind of is just that they're big. There's one detail here. There's not been any other sort of reason for them to fight. Could do with a bit more.
Put it on a boat. Back to CM Punk. He bumps into the Judgment Day backstage and says, where's Mummy?
Like, this is your heaven, isn't it?
Yep. Yes, it is.
And
all my favourites.
Priest welcomes
And
into the
Jey
show
Uso.
and says, I hope you're the one to finish your story because I'll be waiting for you when you do. And he's got the Money in the Bank briefcase right there.
Also great. Punk remembers.
And the Judgment Day come out. I still don't understand how they do the lighting thing. It's amazing. Damian Priest reminds everyone who they are. Balor boasts about being 2-time tag team champions. Priest says a message for everyone, even if you've already been dealt with by the Judgment Day. If you're a returning superstar or a new superstar like the Creed brothers, everyone's on notice. Dom tries to speak, but no one can bloody hear him because of the booing, of course. And then here comes R-Truth. He's got his decorations with you. He says, I've tried getting into the clubhouse to decorate, but the front of the doors are both locked. What's going on? Why don't you invite me to the ring as well for your big holiday party? And JD McDonough just flips his lid, screams at him. I like the fact that every time they all hate him, and Damian Priest every time was like, "Hey, JD, calm down, mate." And he invites Truth, Priest does, into the ring because he wants to hear what he's got to say. And Truth says, "I'll be honest, I think you should kick out JD McDonough because nobody likes him. JD has to be held back by Dom." And he says, "Priest, you need to stop calling yourself the boss because it makes Mammy upset." And Priest does the thing where it's like, "I like you, Truth. Well, everyone likes you." The crowd cheer for him, and he says, "Yep. Everyone likes R-Truth, except me." He takes his head off, put the boots to him. He is excommunicated from the Judgment Day. The Creed brothers have to run down to make the save, but the numbers game surely in the advantage of the Judgment Day. Nope, Julius Creed's the best. He hits both Dom and JD McDonough with a double Northern Lights suplex. He wipes out Balor.
You forgot the fact that he kips up after doing a double suplex on two dudes.
Oh,
Oh my God.
And Julius and Brutus drop Priest with I think it was a double spine buster to stand tall. They're the best.
It's really intoxicating getting to see the Creeds sink their teeth into a Fouad.
A Fouad.
Now, isn't it? Like, they had a couple of matches, you know what their offering is, and the Fouad just happens to be for the belts. So they're kind of going in at the very top. I wasn't convinced that was the right move last week. I am now.
Yep.
Like, this was super effective.
I mean, before the Creeds arrived, and I was watching this abysmal comedy with R-Truth and the Judgment Day, I was thinking, you know what would be good right about now? Maybe the Judgment Day, just two of them, against two of the hottest baby faces on Raw for 5 months or whatever it was. That's better than this.
I don't know, at the start, he was kind of laying out all the issues within the Judgment Day, pretty much one by one by one. It's why they call Ron Killings the Truth.
Yeah.
E-Truth, exposition truth.
There you go. That's what's up.
It's always up. Exposition is always up in this company.
Anyway, back to CM Punk. He's in the back. There's Drew McIntyre speaking to Postman Pierce. And Drew says, "I don't care about your story or Cody's story. I'm only interested in finishing my bloody story." And he leaves. And Punk says, "What's wrong with him?" And Pierce said, "By the way, Drew McIntyre is getting a world title shot on day one of 2024. Day one's back."
Oh my God.
Love me some day one. I mean, it's not the pay-per-view, but it's the 1st of January's Raw. So he's getting a title shot on there.
I thought Day One was back for a minute there.
Oh, God, I honestly, we can dream.
I really don't know what your
Never mind Evolution 2. Let's get day 1, 2.
I understand a
I'd
nigga
rather
that
have
escaped from
Evolution
your Christmas
2.
break, but you didn't have kids then, so I don't get why you loved it.
I just loved it. It's the best. And I want to be in here on my own, reviewing Raw on January 2nd, saying, goated.
It's when he's a serial kid again. Like, the calendar turns over 31st to 1st. Springs up. It's going to taste great.
Right, a lovely
I don't
moment.
actually like Day One. Usually when you talk about WWE in the office, I just zone out.
Yeah. Kofi
Day
Kingston.
One, what? Why?
I don't know, I just loved it at the time. It was just the best.
It was the one where Roman...
First day of the year, get in, WWE pay-per-view. Love it. Starting off the year right, Sid.
I prefer a January 4th.
Ugh.
Off.
Brian O'Connor again. Ugh.
No, thank you. Kofi Kingston, Chad Gable, and Ricochet are there. Punk says, Kofi, you're making me crazy.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Kingston says, don't do that anymore. There's a lovely moment. They hug. He shakes hands with Gable and Ricochet, talks about how much he's heard about Chad Gable and that Ricochet sucks at video games.
You see Ricochet's acting in this segment, by the way.
Yeah.
It was awful.
Terrible.
Thanks,
Trevor.
Pierce takes Kingston, Gable, and Ricochet into his office to discuss an idea regarding the IC title. Yes. Getting back to it. Told you.
Yeah.
All right, good.
Then it was time for the team. They bloody love to have fun, right? Kane Carter and Katana Chance versus Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell. You got Chelsea Green and Piper Niven on commentary. We all knew where this was going. A very brief bit of offense for LeRae and Hartwell, I think.
Are they on the outs?
I don't know what's going on there. How old is Indy Hartwell?
25, I want to say.
It's just something that's just struck me.
27.
27. So she was 17 when Punk left, maybe 18. Broke her heart.
Time to grow up.
Grow up. I've just thought about that like that.
Yeah.
You're 38, and you're literally comparing WWE Monday Night Raw to Christmas Day. So maybe you should grow up.
Sorry, still believe in the magic of both, Sidge.
Hartwell hit a spine buster on Katana Chance.
The magic of Raw, is it?
Who comes back with a basement drop kick, and they finish off.
Elf on the shelf, more like Fed in my head.
And it's just a problem.
They win with the after party.
Yeah.
And they're getting a title shot next week.
Yeah. Might win.
They won't.
They calm down the too many parties this time of year, aren't they?
Oh, God, yeah.
Aye, that could prove distracting. That
Work Christmas party.
could prove to be distracting.
I can't wait till Thursday. I'm so
I think
excited.
if like Elf on the Shelf with like E-Drone. I'll get there at some point. Yeah.
Get that by the end.
Gargano and Ciampa are very excited to obviously be in Cleveland. And Ciampa's like, really not sure about our partner. And then here come Kaiser and Giovanni Vinci, who says, who'd actually team with you two losers? DIY says, don't worry. You should worry about Gunther bollocking you when you bloody lose. And Gunther shows up and says, I doubt anyone would want to be seen with you. More on that in a bit. Becky Lynch walks through the back and Nikki Cross is being creepy in the background. How's this going? That's what I want to know.
You're the only person who's ever said that, apart from some dorks on Reddit, probably. Like, I'm not being funny. What are they doing?
They can't even, she's already been in a Battle Royal and just been thrown out. They can't do this as like a Royal Rumble.
Oh, yeah,
show.
she just stood by the desk for a bit.
It's just like, it's absolutely pathetic.
He positions it to look at the WrestleMania sign.
In wrestling's, I sometimes hate it. Imagine Nikki Cross going through the airport.
They have to wheel her on one of them cars.
Okay, I can see your passport, ma'am. Oh, yeah, here it is. Abaddon going through an airport. Kane going through an airport.
They just put her in one of them construction crates with the Judgment Day's clubhouse.
Stupid.
Really like what came next. Becky Lynch and Nia Jax. She comes down to the ring, does Becky, says a quick hello, and takes us back to the 21st of November 2018 when Nia Jax punched her right in the face and broke her nose, left her a bloody mess, and they show the footage. Becky says, it might be petty bring this up, but damn it, I am petty. For the last 5 years, everyone I've faced brought this up. We kept missing each other. I went on to main event WrestleMania. Nia went on to have double ACL surgery because she's so unlikable that not even her knees stand up for her. That's a good line.
That's good.
Then obviously Becky went
Better than Seth's lines.
Yeah.
Becky went off and had a child. Nia got...
You say that as like it's a revelation. Who's the funny one in that relationship?
And I would like, can she not write some of his material for her?
Yeah. We got there? No, give it here. Becky had a kid. Nia got fired. It's 2023 now. But now it's time to deal with this. Out comes Nia Jax. She says, I'm not fighting anymore. I'm right in front of you. I'm better than ever. That punch just showed what I can do. And that was a lucky swing that almost ended your career. And I didn't even get hold of it. Imagine if I just properly smashed it in the face, basically.
I'm saying that clip a lot. She got all of it.
Yeah,
like
she got
every last bit of it.
This is a contact sport. What did you expect? I don't know.
Great point. Like a fantastic point.
Becky says, I don't hold it against you. Everyone knows you're the most dangerous woman in the ring.
So what's your problem then?
Nia says, people haven't stopped talking about her the past 2 years she's been gone. It's ironic with all the careers I've nearly ended that you've got me to thank for yours. And this, apparently, is what Becky does hold against Nia. It's not just about a broken face. If that was the case, they'd have moved on as soon as the blood had dried. It's about what that moment represents, about her dusting herself off and getting back up and fighting like hell. That's what she's done her whole life, that night, ever since. Nia, though, she and her minions have spent years going around saying she's not a main event star. I proved you wrong. And now all you say is because you're a main event star because of me. Or I'm a main event star because of you. I need to end that lie of all this or end you. And Nia's like, you need me. You need me to prove that you're not just about that one moment. You got to prove to yourself that your career wasn't just some accident. Otherwise, I will always be the woman that made the man. And Becky says, what I need you to do is shut up. I didn't come to talk. I came for a fight. She ties her hair up, says, go on, take another shot. And Nia says, nah, you need it a lot more than I do, and leaves.
I thought this was nice, a nice addition to the original premise, because I didn't really think they were going to add anything to it. But this idea that now Becky Lynch considers her, like the Nia Jax thing, like, or believes that there are whispers that without Nia Jax smashing her in the face, none of this would have ever happened for her. That as somebody that we know, Becky Lynch is this like competitive baby face and everything the character went through. I believe that as motivation beyond just this thing happened 5 years ago. Remember it? Like, so I quite like that.
Ever heard of it?
Yeah. Like, the one thing I don't get, and again, one of my things is wrestlers just do stuff, and it's because they do stuff rather than because they're thinking it through. Like, Nia Jax should have hit her in the face. Like, what is her time? What is her, like, is this a head
Can't
games?
hit her in the face, because it's never going to look as good as the shoot injury.
They set up this thing where it's like, not tonight, on my time. That's just because what, like, wrestling heels have said forever. Just deck her and then fight her on your time. Do both. Like, it's one of that's where, like...
The argument for Nia is, well, why should I fight Becky? I want to go for the world title. And
No, fine, but chin her while you get the chance. Take her out again. It worked out great for you last time. Don't know if you saw the Survivor Series 2018, but Nia happened to do this a couple of times.
So good.
Yeah, it's just that like wrestler thing.
Do this one thing all the time.
That's what these.
tonight, yeah.
That's what half these feuds feel like. It's the premise, bang.
The punch in the face.
You know what I mean? Just wrestle. Don't need them to talk about this for another few weeks. Do it.
I did flashbacks, by the way, to...
It's not like very plot heavy, this women's division, is it?
Never.
No.
Never. It's Becky Lynch Trish thing. I had that go on for 6 months or whatever.
She's got him out of a couple of jams this year, Becky Lynch.
It reminded me of when Big Show and Floyd Mayweather. Big Show was like, you're just going to have to break my nose. Floyd was like, okay. Bang. He's like, you broke my bloody nose.
That was good.
That was unbelievable.
Was that the one where he came back a babyface and immediately turned heel or the other way around?
Yeah.
Yeah, they tried to babyface Floyd Mayweather, and that just did not work.
No. Shane McMahon. Like, you know, that, like Michael Cole holding Seth back is the one moment everybody goes, oh, this is a work then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shane McMahon physically, literally trying to hold Big Show back from Rampage into the crowd. Like, you can't do that shit.
Yeah.
I know you think you're the strongest guy in the world. I'm the same size as you in a way.
Yeah. Stature.
Jackie Redmond's backstage with Cody, who congratulates Postman Pierce getting it done. Glad the fans are happy. Glad Punk happy. But the Rumble's right around the corner. You can't finish two stories at once, and they're both aware of that. She's just the best.
You can, because there's Elimination Chamber.
Yeah.
Oh, God, I love this.
I mean, I don't care, but you can. No, this is like they are going to show down. Do something bold.
Yeah.
I want to see what that looks like.
It's
What's the crowd with?
Kayfabe version, isn't it, of when he said, oh, Rock had his big day out. Like, glad he got it done. Glad he got it done. It's like, the little Cody's great, man. This is wrestling. We're getting it. I'm in the right place for it.
And he hypes up the Nakamura match.
They can effectively promote it.
Then it was time for the six-man tag. It was Gunther, Ludwig Kaiser, and Giovanni Vinci versus Johnny Gargano, Tommaso Ciampa, and their mystery partner, The Miz.
They're all the Cleveland boys.
Yeah.
I love the fact
Cleveland
that
boys
even
and
on
Tommaso
their face,
Ciampa.
They were like, we know.
Well, I don't know
Cleveland boys and, oh, man.
Yeah.
I just love that. Even on their face, when they're like, here he is, they're like, we know, but here he is.
Bit of me, this. Plenty of Miz. Maybe DIY stand a chance. Thanks, Mike. It's great.
Back and forth early on. Miz wants to get his hands on Gunther. But Ciampa gets a big boot to the face to take us to a break. When we come back, Gargano makes the hot tag. Miz comes in after Gunther, beats him up, hits a springboard crossbody, goes to the it kicks, but Gunther just blocks one and smashes with a chop instead. Gunther puts him in a Boston Crab. Ciampa breaks up with a huge knee strike. Kaiser and Vinci take out Ciampa. Miz and Gargano hit Kaiser and Vinci with simultaneous tilt-a-whirl DDTs. Miz puts Gunther in the figure 4. I think he did a dragon screw or something before that. Gargano puts Kaiser in the Gargano escape, but Gunther manages to get Vinci involved, who hits a springboard elbow drop. But Miz fights back. Skull-crushing finale, 1, 2, 3. And I'll say this now. They got meet up backstage, and Miz wants one more match at the IC title, and Gunther says, you can have it, but if you lose, you can never challenge for this title again whilst I'm champion.
Best just be another win for Gunther.
Yes, yeah.
Worry about that in a couple of weeks. There's that great holiday episode of Friends where Monica and Ross have their parents over, and then gradually all of the lies about like Ross's divorces and about Monica losing her job come to the surface, and like their parents are just devastated, and then they turn to Chandler, Ross's best friend that protected him. He married Monica, he's shouldering all this, and then Chandler goes like, I'll take care of them. That's happened with Triple H DIY and The Miz.
Yeah.
It's like, what the frig are you? So have you heard those fans out there? I thought you were good. And they're like, Dad, we don't know what to do. Miz is like, I'll take care of
I'll
them.
show you. I'll show you how it's
What
done.
the hell? This worked.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't know how this worked, but I quite enjoyed it.
yeah.
The Miz, the Miz kicking Imperium's ass, man.
Yeah.
It's just rubbish.
Not Gunther's, but he can definitely take the other two. That we know.
Yeah. This was really effective. And I just scoffed at it at the exact same
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
The two, like the new thing is when like people are trying to teach people on X that something called nuance exists. And, the thing is like, guys, I know this is an alien concept to you tribalist weirdos, but two things can be true at the same time.
Yeah.
The two true things at the same time here were Miz is getting DIY over, helps that he's in Cleveland. But, he's been getting good reactions throughout this Gunther stuff. And then the Miz kicking their ass. The Miz.
I think
DIY, because we're awesome. That's why. Make a trios title. Come on. Do a proper one.
I think it is telling and also brilliant. And even if it's just in a if you know type of way that CM Punk's interacted with just about everybody, and we haven't had a Miz one yet.
I can't wait
Keep
for this.
something in the chamber for that. Like, what if Miz is like hyping himself up for this IC title match, and he's had 2-3 more weeks to be super credible, and that's when it happens. And Punk has to like in one facial has to like, I respect you a bit. I'll never not hate you. Like that. Oh my God.
Do you reckon he's going to endorse The Miz?
Maybe. And like, again, the gritted teeth of it all. Like Edge screaming at a camera, I need it. I cannot wait, man.
I mean, the thing about The Miz and CM Punk, right, is that they've had this, very different path. Like, The Miz was on Tough Enough, Fast Tracked. He was always very much, love this company. This is great, actually. The WWE, as The Miz like to call it, is goated. And CM Punk was always, like an ROH guy. I'm kind of an interloper here. I would like to change it in my image. And I think a lot of fans would as well. And I'm the iconoclast and the renegade and all the rest of it. But like deep down, they're just a couple of weirdos.
That's it.
Do it for the weirdos.
It's just a couple of weirdos, man.
I want to see a weirdos Mega Powers handshake between them both.
Like the Miz is just a weirdo. We know this.
This is it. Do it for the weirdos, Mike.
What?
Oh, Mike and Phil.
What? Oh. Just call the punks.
Mike and Phil going to
Just
Trillions.
a couple of outcasts. Just a couple of weirdo outcasts.
There's like there's like a buddy cop thing where they're going to bars. It's like they're putting different songs on the jukebox, but they're making it work.
Yeah.
Next week, both tag titles are on the line. Priest and Balor versus Creed Brothers.
Oh, yeah.
Green and Niven versus the girls just to have fun. Main event time. Cody Rhodes versus Shinsuke Nakamura. Yeah, it went 18 minutes. They went to a DQ because he got misted.
18 minutes.
Criminal that.
Cody had him set up for the cross. I'll briefly talk about it because the main event.
What's the point? Skip means skip.
Cody had him set up.
Skip means skip.
You two are the ones talking about it in the office today. I wasn't saying anything about this. You two were booking it.
Oh, he's on about the cage match from yesterday's preview.
Yeah, and I'm on about the skip means skip.
Yeah. Cody had him set up for the crossroads. Countered, missed. Post-match.
I'll say one thing.
Okay.
Christmas, I'll allow myself a treat. Cody usually is very good at knowing when the audience is about to swell. And then it's like, right, I've got him because I'm Cody. And then he's like shaking the ropes and firing up. He was begging.
Yeah.
He was begging in this match.
It's too long for them to care.
That's that.
And then Nakamura attacked him afterwards. Anyway, enough of all this. It's now time for this.
It's short, it's crap, it's wrestling related. The 5-star review. Nailed it!
Nah.
And this week's 5-star review is brought to you by Blake Myers.
Blake Myers?
If you want to suggest something.
great name.
That's a good name.
I guess where he's from?
Cincinnati, Ohio.
Louisville, Kentucky.
Close.
Probably not.
Fort Collins, Colorado.
That's, yeah.
But if you want to suggest something short, crap, wrestling related, you can do so by leaving us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts or leave us a 5-star rating on Spotify. Screenshot it.
We need the proof.
And then email it to me, adam.wilborn@whatculture.com. That's exactly what Blake's done. We were also his #1 podcast for 2023. So thank you, Blake.
Thank you. That's proof.
Email saying, love the pod, gents. Emailing from Fort Collins,
I
Colorado.
haven't seen the proof. It's a screenshot.
I think your alien friend has visited my basement as I have the poster you always mention.
Oh, get in.
Do you want to explain that? There's
There
an
is-
alien on NXT.
Yes.
Did we get the aliens? Oh, we did get the aliens vote on who's the Booker of the Year, didn't we?
Yeah. And there he is.
There he is.
The alien has leapt off the Take Me to Your Dealer poster to join us on many of these podcasts. And he got taken to his dealer and he has imbibed. And I hear the alien is... It's a holiday.
In contact with AEW because he's smoking some of the devil's lettuce. I'm turning 30 next month, says Black. He sent me this at the end of November. So I'm turning 30 this month, I should say. Was hoping you could do something either birthday related or related to the number 30. So happy birthday in advance for your
Happy
30th
birthday,
birthday,
Blake.
Blake.
Is that belated? How when's it? Was his birthday?
This month.
Oh, right.
Sometime this month.
Okay. Happy in advance birthday.
So I
Slash
typed in
belated.
WWE Diva birthday. So it was what come up. And, Michael Hamflett, take us back, tell us the backstory to Total Divas from the 28th of September, 2014.
Oh, God, just off the top of my dick. What date was it, sorry?
28th of September, 2014.
Aye, great episode. Remember it well. If I remember correctly, as I scroll past all the CM Punk pictures I was sending you this morning.
You got in a separate WhatsApp.
Yeah.
Send each other pictures of WWE stuff. Of course you do.
If I remember,
Ostracized.
if I remember correctly, Will Barton, I think it was the episode where Tyson Kidd,
out by Triple H.
where Tyson Kidd forgets Natalia's birthday.
Uh-huh.
So Rosa Mendez rounds up the rest of the Divas to give her a proper celebration.
I remember it well.
There's only actually one Punk picture, sorry, it's because he asked me about this.
Okay, I'm
never-
joking.
you'd
I'm
never
just
be
doing a bit. I'm
ostracized.
just doing a bit, guys.
Never want you to feel ostracised. Work or shoot.
No.
Fed's for everybody. Remember that? Wrestling is for everybody. So's a fad.
So, yeah, Rose has thrown a birthday party because Tyson Kidd's forgot.
It's like basically it's shark porn. So you know when Monica goes, I don't understand why you like it so much. It's congeniality too.
I thought you meant it was when your wife walks in, you turn it off as quick as possible.
That's usually the case. It's miscongeniality, isn't it?
No, Friends is a shark porn gag.
No, but like it's I don't understand why you like it so much. When they're doing the bit where you think they're talking about some kind of sexual kink, but in fact it's miscongeniality.
Yeah.
It's I don't understand why you like it so much, and I never will.
5 hours of evidence a week.
6, including. No, 7.
7 including next day.
Yeah, to quote Jack Bauer, it's evidence, but it's not proof.
So, yes,
Tyson
Tyson
Kidd.
Kidd.
Imagine 24 hours of Raw.
Hang on. I think there's a
I
book
feel like
for
I've been
this.
living it
Oh
since
my
2012. That's how long everybody feels like.
It's one of their main event tags. Beep, boop. And if I'm lucky, one of these people will come in and attack me.
Yes.
So, yeah, Tyson Kidd has forgotten Natalia's birthday.
Poor form, that.
It's kind of impossible to do that.
Yeah, you can't be doing
You
that.
can't. No, yeah. Have you ever forgotten a partner's birthday?
Never.
Never. It is impossible.
You've forgotten anyone's birthday.
I've got some mates, probably.
Yeah, I don't remember birthdays for the most part. But
No, you need
I can't
Facebook
remember
for
it.
this. It's the only thing I rely on Facebook for now. I'll go on, it's someone's birthday who I should be saying happy birthday to. Like usually, like on the WhatsApp, like 3 or 4 friendship group chats on WhatsApp and between Messenger. I've got like probably 3 or 4, 4 or 5 or whatever. And like someone will say 11 a.m. Oh, happy birthday, Shelley. It's like, oh, right, Shelley's birthday.
6 messages.
feel bad because Shelley's always like, 7 a.m. happy birthday. So, good guy. Good guy.
I like
one of the best guys.
I like people forgetting mine because then that's like license to forget theirs. I like that agreement that's then made. It's fine by me.
I'm fairly certain I forgot one of my parents' birthdays.
What an absolute twat.
But it was first year of uni about 2 months in, and I was just like...
So maybe there was a little bit of... I'm stoned already.
I remember getting a phone call the
that's
other day, and they
worse,
were like,
you know.
"Need anything to say?" And I was like, "No, don't need any washing doing. Thanks very much."
Don't need any water.
Like, oh, well, it's been 2 months, so you can go yourself. Any nice birthday presents off young Adam? Well,
What did you do to make up for it?
I had a pint of Rosie in the SU to say cheers to her.
did you
No, I can't remember.
did you scream down the phone like as soon as you'd moved out, like I don't know, like a Charlotte Flair catchphrase maybe?
I don't. No, I felt very guilty afterwards.
Yeah, good.
As Tyson Kidd probably did, because they're Rosa Mendes.
Professional.
It's done this whole thing, and they're there getting ready for everyone to arrive at the Chili's or whatever. Oh, well, my baby back.
Really?
So the story about Tyson Kidd, just that he just completely ignores and or resents or doesn't care about Natalia's existence. 'Cause I know everything I've learned about Total Divas, to use an internet cliche, has been against my will. So this episode where he just forgets her birthday, and the other one where she's like trying to get it on with her. She's trying to sexy outfits. She's like, I'm kidding. Daniel Bryan's on Raw.
and then in her defense, she went,
It's Daniel Bryan versus Cesaro, so...
why can't you get turned on by one of my good matches? And he was just like...
So how? It's a 2014.
I think it's also one of those things of the staple of like reality TV where there's nothing to really make a big deal out of, because if you did, then they would be like, you can't use that. That's an actual real problem. Yeah. So, you know, like when they go like, they've got to film the conversation and clearly the person, it's just footage of the person listening to the other person talk, but they make it seem like you've asked them a question. They just go,
the nod shot.
A load of bollocks in it.
Total Bellas, man. Imagine that pitch to John Cena. So, John, how'd you fancy being a complete psychopath? Yeah, I can get there.
Yeah.
Everybody take your shoes off. It's his table for eating dinner on. It's not for eating food on. Figure that one out.
I like it. Let's have a fun game of any fun bar game. I want to win all of them. I want to shove it in your face as well.
Brian, it's 5 p.m. Put your suit on.
It's time for a cigar.
Eat your steak. I'll watch. Steak, probably. I'm just watching.
We were tied at the cigar room after dinner. And, it's class.
Enjoy my white wall with a white canvas.
So, Rose has got all these people together. One of them is, two of them are Naomi and Jey Uso. And Jey Uso's like, oh, wait a second, my shirt matches Rose's dress. So why don't we do a little prom photo? And Naomi's just stood right there. And Naomi's like, what is your deal with Rosa? I know she's hot, all right? Jimmy should say, oh, no, it's fine. It's just having a bit of fun. And he just goes, Mamacita! Naomi just looks at him like, we'll have a chat later. It's fine. And Naomi says, I'm a bit jealous of Rosa. So Rosa puts her head on her boobs. She's rounded up the divas, yes, to give Natalya a proper celebration. And there's a little bit of an awkward moment. Naomi's there, and in comes Cameron, which, of course...
Funkadactyl.
Mm-hmm. And this was the moment in storyline, we're going to start feuding.
Yeah, give or take. A few weeks. Not mad.
Cameron says, oh my God, it feels so weird being here. I'm so glad I made the decision to go back. I feel like I'm impressed so much. And Cameron says...
Sounds familiar. She sounds familiar.
Yeah, I'm really hungry.
Cameron got told by...
it's like every wrestling promo in 2023. Yeah. I've got to eat. Wrestle.
She's going to be battling Naomi. She's been told by management. So she's gone back to NXT to practice. And we see who she's practicing with. And it is Bayley, Carmella, Becky, Dana Brooke, Alexa Bliss, JoJo, and Charlotte Flair.
That's that class. That's Triple H being like, I might try women's wrestling.
Yeah.
I'll give this a go.
Natalya shows up. Hey! I can't remember. And I can't remember. Natalya says a sentence that should be nice, but in a way that sounds horrible.
Go on.
So it's like, wow, Rose has done all this. Lovely gesture from Rosa Mendez. And Natalya says, well, Natalya can't believe she's done this. And she goes, she's meant to say, that's nice of you. But she says, that's nice of you. Like, what's the ulterior motive? Maybe she just wants to do something nice for your birthday. Why are you being nasty to her?
Implies that, like, Rosa Mendez is the worst person alive or something.
Yeah.
It's a game.
Naomi's bought her a birthday present. This is the only present we see, so of course.
It's time to play the game! Time to play the game! Ha 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 ha!
What was Naomi's present for Natalya's birthday?
Best of Natalya DVD.
One disc.
Mini disc.
Sorry. She has had 2 good matches, man. Let's be nice.
Quite a hit rate. So yeah, what has Naomi bought for Natalya's birthday?
I don't want to say the sexist things. Like a bottle of scotch.
Ooh.
No, dear, that's wrong.
There's some Bret Hart sunglasses.
No, dear, that's wrong.
Big bottle of bubble bath. I just thought, you're not friends or something? Like,
Yeah.
she was like, oh, you know how much I love my bubble bath.
Like, as in 2 weeks' time when we're all giving thanks for this Link's gift set.
Yes.
I always take a deodorant. Saves me getting one more thing from the shop
Yeah.
every other weekday.
But I don't know, I like, there's a Dove 72-hour one that I quite like at the moment. It's an antiperspirant that doesn't stain your clothes. And
You know, you're a sweaty boy as well, aren't you?
sweaty boy. Link's Java isn't doing the job.
Why don't you put like a base just to get a base for your Dove, and then
like Cody's mates.
then fashion
A
the
base
links. Fashion the links as a sort of that's it. Eau de toilette.
Dove for the day, Links for the night.
Yeah.
Jimmy and Jey have been dragged along to this. Jay's rather happy than Jimmy. Jimmy's obviously in trouble with Naomi. So by the time the cake comes out, Jay's like, yeah! Jimmy's not just on his phone, just like, I'm in trouble anyway, so I'm going to try. And the cake comes out. Poor Cameron. Yeah, I can definitely relate to the cake comes out, and she thinks everyone's going to go, happy birthday
to.
And everyone just goes, yay! So she goes, happy birthday. And this is the thing with reality TV. Now he cuts the cake, and that's it. That's the end of the entire scene. And I thought, oh, great birthday, really, is it? But then I suppose Natalya has had worse birthdays. Didn't Rhea Ripley kick her ass in Saudi Arabia in like 2 minutes?
It was a birthday, wasn't it? Yeah.
There you go. But with this gathering of divas, my question is, what's the comment section going to be like? So we go there. Once again, these do not refer to the user of myself, Hamlet, Sidgwick, Nicholas.
We are indeed going to that place.
Anyone else at What Culture?
Anyone else? I love the way people sometimes relate to things in the comments. Some nice ones to start. It's like, you're not... what was the phrase? Don't develop parasocial relationships.
Yeah, it's not a phrase, it's not an expression. It's just a bit of it's a bit of advice.
Because Holly's like...
Would you get that on a t-shirt?
Holly's in the comments and just says, happy birthday, Soz didn't know.
Not meant to.
Yeah.
It's not Natalya's Facebook page.
Also, people getting confused that just the date the YouTube video came out is not Natalya's birthday. Quick, we're going to get this out.
It's that main character thing, isn't it, where like they're watching it today, so it is happening live.
Yes.
Oh, it's a stream.
Romulan, less kind to Natalya. If Natalya isn't the centre of attention, becomes moody, spiteful, and angry. That's just her birthday. Yeah. It should be the centre of attention. Semra says, whoa, September 28th. That's my mum's birthday, WTF. And on my birthday, the 20th of August this year, someone died. WTF. 2 WTFs. Number 1, whoa, you share the same birthday as my mum. Number 2, someone died on my birthday.
On my birthday last year, no one died. On my birthday next year, no one died. On my birthday this year, someone died.
Yeah, I don't know if they just meant in the world or at the party.
Playing the stats game.
Once again, not reflecting the views of... There's not too many. There's 3. one of which I actually need your help with, Sidge.
Oh, right, okay. Happy to help.
Don't throw use of anyone. At What Culture? Michael writes. Well, I know it's neither of you because they start by saying, "I'd love to see more of Natalia," but they actually write it as, "Oh, I'd love to see more of Natalia and her mum." Nick,
You can find her on documentaries where she talked about hard fart.
Yep. I hated that one.
Yeah, Brett beat up all the bullies.
Great day, that one.
Nick.
Boo said he was going to do it, but he never turned up. Brett had to beat up all the bullies.
Sidge, Nick.
It's like the sports movie.
You know, the big hero comes home from his journey and he's won the big championship belt. I'll lift him aloft and he knocks him straight out.
Good
Thanks.
Nick,
every single frigging documentary on those weirdos going.
Nick,
The Stu's kids.
Nick says, not the only cake I want to take a bite out of. What? Mean by that, Sidge? I got confused.
Well, Wilborn, as you don't know, evidently, cake has become popular internet speak for buttocks and arses, and you know, take a bite of the cake. I don't think they want to take a knife and fork to the cheek. I think it's they don't want to be cannibals.
Not a second cake in a video.
No, there's
Second
only one.
Yeah, it's code for analingus.
Okay. That might actually make sense.
Trying to work out honesty.
That might be related to the final comment then that
Right.
Callum's lefted. Because
Honesty.
The rated R superstar. You know, superstar.
Adam Cakeland.
Callum doesn't specify.
The food, brackets cake. The brood.
Callum doesn't specify the diva he's talking about here, but I thought it'd be worth mentioning his comment now. I understand the obsession with ass. Yeah. Once again, doesn't reflect views of anyone. Because Callum writes. Imagine if she blasted a fart in you. Two-part of this. Imagine if she blasted a fart in your face.
If you like that, you like it. So
You do things right. You do things right. You should just
do the whole thing again.
imagine if she blasted a fart in your face. You do things right. You should be smelling. You do things right. You should be smelling ass on your lips for days. Thanks, Blake. Happy birthday, mate.
Happy birthday.
And there we have it.
Follow me at MC.
It's the Raw review. That's what you get. Let us know your thoughts on X at What Culture WWE or in the comments. Follow all three of us. You can follow Michael Hamflet at
Michael Hamflet.
follow Michael Sidgwick at M Sidgwick, and follow me at Adam Wilmore. Follow our brilliant producer at It's Adam Nicholas. Subscribe to What Culture Wrestling wherever you get your podcasts from. What Culture Wrestling podcast on YouTube. Speaking of the Raw review, thanks to Blake for the 5-star review. My thanks to Hamflet, Sidgwick, to Nicholas. Thank you for joining us.
Happy holidays.
We'll see you soon.